All right, awesome. So what's up, Lincoln? Fantastic
Hi.
to be able to talk to you, man. I'm super excited to have you be the first person that I actually get to interview because everybody's going to get to see your work in everything that I do for at least a while, man. I'm so happy with the visuals that you made for me, and I'm going to use them for a good
No
long
problem.
bit. Um, so starting off, what you're so talented, man. There had to be something that got you into it. Do you know, like, kind of where you started shifting to where you decided you wanted to be an artist?
To be honest, like I just used to draw a lot like of Pokemon like when I was a kid, but I didn't draw from when I was 16 to when I was 19, like just turning 20. Because I just like school kind of killed art for me, so I didn't want to draw anything. But then it's like September of last year. I just sat there and I was like, all right, I've got a month before I start uni, so I need to like do something. So I just picked up my pencil and started drawing again. And since then, I've been drawing like at least one piece a day, and like just like it's just like I don't know what is driving me to be an artist like visually, but I just do it because like it's kind of fun and like it's something to do and like something to create.
Yeah, I get that for sure. That's about the like I'm so bad at art, but I feel that of just like I want to put something out there. I don't quite have
Yeah,
the talent to do it, but it's nice to be able to make something from your own imagination. So I
yeah, it's
understand
just
that
putting work
completely.
out. It's like a very it's a good feeling when someone sees your work and they're like, oh, I like that piece, and you
For
want to make
real,
more.
it really, really is. So, how'd
Yeah.
you go from just drawing a piece every day to start trying to get a way to make money out of it?
So I was just
Did you
drawing for the
see
sake of
somebody like doing it?
Well, I have a few art mentors and like they're like telling me about like how they make money or like what they do and like how they make print. And I was like, oh, like maybe I can make a little money. Like so then somebody I didn't ask anyone, do you want me to make you something? Like I was just taking requests for free and like doing portraits of friends. But then somebody asked me to do a tattoo for them, and then that was my first commission like about 6 months ago.
Your first
And then
commission was something that was going to be on somebody's body forever?
that was the thing. I was like, whoa, like someone's asking me to put art on their body for like permanently. I was like, this is a bit much. But it was
That's
only £10.
wild, dude.
Yeah, but it was only £10, so it was like a small commission. It's just like I did like in my notebook and like sent it off. I liked it though, and like, but ever since then, like I've been like having a lot of trouble with like pricing myself, and like it was only recently like I've been talking to like certain people and like asking them where they would price me at. And, I just like settled on certain prices. But I think as I get better, I'm gonna start increasing it and like setting my standards higher. So it's
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. I'm like, for example, if you don't mind me talking about how much I'm paying you to do the commissions for this channel,
yes.
at 150 a piece, man, I feel like you're totally worth it. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities for you to spend another 6 months or so getting better and then ended up charging more. I mean,
Yeah.
you're super communicative. It's been wonderful working with you, man. No issues at all. You even tried to give me that one piece before I paid, but like I said, I'm trying to be on the up and up from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So it you're fantastic, dude. You're killing this game, and I think you're definitely going to be doing great as you keep going forward and getting better. Um, so when you talk about talking about art mentors and people that you speak with about valuing yourself, what do they tell you?
To be honest, there's a lady called Adu Fresne, Amanda Dufay, and she's been like helping me out. She streams on Twitch and like she's like tells me of like what I need to work on with my art and like what I need to do. And like she's been really helpful in telling me like where to go to sell my work or like how to price myself and like what people are looking for. So it's really like it's like some people have been really kind to me and like helped me out a lot.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool because you're just putting this positive work out there, and you're. It seems like you're getting a really good reception for it. I'm real happy for
Yeah.
you.
I also want to
Good
shout
for
out.
you, man. It's so nice.
There's a guy called Bulletproof Turtle, man. He's like just like amazing colorist, and like he's always like helping me out and like supporting my page, and he's always giving advice, and like he's a great guy as well. It's just like I've been trying to surround myself with these amazing people, and like it's just been a great experience.
It sounds like you've definitely been doing it. That's wonderful. I love how there's, I wouldn't say it's so much a community because you see a lot of little splinter cell communities, but it's nice when you hear an artist talk about how they've got a small group that they work with and who help
Yeah,
kind of drive them in the right direction because there's no real end goal for art. You know, anybody can take it and do whatever they want with it. But
yeah. There is nothing like there's no end goal to look out when you're being an artist. Like there's nowhere to stop.
do you have any specific goals on like a place that you'd like to get to?
To be honest, like I just want to just get into a position where I can make art permanently. Just like I can just sit in my room and like just make art and sell that and live off that.
Just do that completely?
Yeah, but it's not. It's like I've been wanting to be famous for a while, but then like recently I've been trying to fall off of that because like I don't know. I think I've like lost interest in trying to be famous. But then I also want to do create
Oh,
art that
that's a
can be
rough
for the
road to
mass.
follow anyway, so that's probably for the
Yeah,
better.
yeah. But I've also been trying to like I really want to create art that is like on a mass scale and that can like affect people and I really like change like the way people view things because I'm really like in my head and like kind of philosophical and stuff and like, I try to get into people's. It's just like I want to get into like, as many people's heads as possible and like just to affect their perception of certain things. It's
So have
kind of
you thought
interesting.
about how you would do that? Like what kind of project you would take on to take steps in that direction?
Well, that's sort of the society thing that I created start this year, January 1st, and it was gonna be like 8 of us making a drop album and we used to make an album and we help each other out and produce and everything. And then we were like yeah, like comic book, like art book, like it was gonna be a lot of things that's gonna be like I was gonna have a sort of I was kind of dropped it.
That's unfortunate. That sounds like it turned out to be a really cool project.
Yeah, it was kind of fortunate but like I think just gotta move forward with it and like if I'm not interested in anymore I can't.
Yeah, you can't force yourself to work on something you just don't have it for.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Let's get into that for a second. How do you end up, do you, if somebody's come at you with like a project that you're not super interested in, do you just turn them down or do you force yourself to work through something so that you can make the money off of it?
Um, it's like once or twice I've like tried to force myself to do it, but I've recognized that like if I'm not gonna be able to do that style or like that type of work that person wants, then I'm just gonna have to say no and like I'm just gonna have to let it go by me. Cause like I've used to get like a loads of album requests, and I did like one and it turned out really well, but then I couldn't do more because I just didn't know how to do like what people wanted from me. But that was the reason I started picking up like more skills and started doing like digital design and collages because they can be used as like album covers and even the background art that you asked me. Like I think just like broadening your skill set really helps with taking on more commissions and like requests.
Yeah, no doubt. The more that you're comfortable with, the more you'll be able to get paid to do for sure.
Yeah.
So when when you turn people down for projects, what is it specifically that makes you want to turn them down? Is it just they ask you for a style that's wildly different than yours? Is it the concept of the piece that they want you to work on?
I don't really get any weird like requests from people. There's nothing about the concept. Like it's normally just cool stuff that people want, but it is mostly the style. Like because I do a lot of traditional art in pencil and in brush and ink, and like people are asking me for like colorful stuff, and I'm like I don't do any color work. So like sometimes you have to just say no to it.
I
It's
don't know,
just
man.
normal.
I've seen that arcade one already, and that's pretty colorful, and I
Mhm.
love it.
Yeah, that one turned out really well. I can't wait to like show people that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited about having that one. It's going to be in this first video for sure. I'm going to have your art posted in that one. Well, it's your art
Oh,
too, so it's going to be all about you.
mm, on top of on top of my voice. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to have you as the first person, man. I can't say thank you enough. I really appreciate you being willing to work with me here.
No, it's cool, man. Like, I'm just excited to just talk to people. To be honest.
So, when I see a lot of artists who do commissions take a firm stance on NSFW content. Do you have that same stance, or are you open to doing some weird stuff if somebody's willing to pay you for it?
Nah, I normally don't. Like, it's just not what I'm interested in. Like, I'll draw what I like to draw, and like, if it's not what I want to draw, then I'm not gonna do it. Like,
And that just doesn't interest you at all.
yeah, I don't knock it. Like, people do it, and like, they make a lot of money, and like, they enjoyed making it. But it's just like a preference thing. Like, you wouldn't like do a hobby that you don't enjoy. It's kind
It
of same.
also, there seems to be a bit of like a stigma to it, where once somebody starts in the NSFW sphere, they kind of tie themselves there artistically, and they, I don't know, you just don't see many people who get into it and then get out of it, you know? Most of
Yeah,
these
you can't
guys
be like,
seems like they kind
um,
of dig themselves into a hole of content that they have to produce.
yeah, you can't be dabbled into like that type of stuff and then like post that alongside your normal art. It's just like I think it takes away from the other art if you're gonna start posting like extremities of some kind.
Yeah, kind of takes away from the innocence of it, I suppose.
Yeah,
Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, not that people being into and creating weird stuff makes people view them as weird, but more that an artist can get pigeonholed on accident by fulfilling a request, you know?
yeah.
So what kind of platforms do you use to get your stuff out there? I mean, I know you use Instagram and Discord, and that's how I've seen you and talked to you, obviously. But do you do anything else?
I post like my favorite pieces that I create. I post them onto Reddit and like, hopefully I get traction there. I've had one piece that got like onto the front page of Reddit, like altogether got like over 30,000. Like I think like
Nice.
yeah. So sometimes I do really well and like, I get onto like the front page of some subreddit. But it is quite like risky doing stuff on Reddit because it depends on like, the time of day and like if people are like liking it, like when it's at zero. Like I only use Reddit, Discord, and yeah.
So you were talking about the time of day. Does that when you're posting art, do you take a lot of that kind of stuff into consideration, or do you just go for it and then notice the times
No, I only post at 9 o'clock UK time. Like only ever at 9.
specifically?
Yeah, specifically at 9 o'clock.
That's wild. Why?
I don't know. I just do it. I just like thought like I should set a time and like I think it's just cool to just like have that time like every day at 9 o'clock. I'll share something.
That's the ritual.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I've
cool.
started. Yeah.
So does that seem to be working for you? I mean, have you managed to amass a good following off of it?
Well, yeah, I've grown quite a lot during over the year, but like, I don't know if it adds to anything. Like, I think maybe if you post in the morning, like less people would see it, because like, especially with like certain like platforms, it's hard to like get traction on certain times of the day, because less people are on. But I think midnight or like close to midnight is like a good time because you have a lot of American people awake at that
Yeah, yeah, that would be something like, what are you, like 6 hours behind me or ahead of me? Something
time.
like that.
7 hours.
Yeah, so that would be like first thing in the morning. That would give your American audience the whole day to be able to notice and react to your new
Yeah,
content. Huh. Seems like you accidentally stumbled into a nice little rhythm there.
Yeah, I guess it's going alright.
That's wonderful. I love it. Just an oops and you got a ritual out of it. That's great.
Yeah.
So on Discord, how often do you get paid requests off of there? Because that's very much not a platform to facilitate anything like that. It's mostly about gaming communities and just connecting people who are playing video games together. So what made you think that would
To be
be a good
honest,
idea to sell stuff on there?
I just like have like communities I enjoy like speaking to. I have like quite a few, like 20, and I just share my art regularly with just like see what people think of it and like, see if people appreciate it. And like I get quite a few like requests commissions from Discord. Probably most of my commissions are from Discord.
Well, see, that was the whole point behind the Gear by Gamers name was I thought that maybe it would be a good idea to create a platform where gamers could come and have some original content created for themselves.
Yeah,
So Discord, I mean, that ties right into it. Gamers and artists are using it all the time. It seems like the perfect utility for this type of venture.
I think a lot of artists are gamers as well, and a lot of gamers are artists. Like it's very
That's
they're very
true, for sure, yeah.
yeah they're
There
very
is
tied
quite
together.
a bit of cross between those two communities. Something about people being bored and looking for something to entertain themselves.
Yeah.
So, overall, how successful would you say you've been so far with your art? Have you made uh, anywhere near a decent salary at this point?
I mean, for being 1 year into the game and like, being 1 year into making being an artist, I think I'm doing alright because I only started doing commissions 6 months ago, and like I've made like a reasonable amount for the amount of time that I've been working. So I'm pretty happy with how like my progress so far, and like hopefully by the end of the second year, like I'll be on like somewhat of a stable income where I can start like quitting my day job or like doing this as a full-time thing, maybe, hopefully.
Are you planning to stay full time and freelance with it, or do you want to try and get in with the company and get onto a project?
To be honest, I don't think I'm much of a team player, so I don't think I would work well in a company. But I think being freelance is the best thing for me. But then also like working with companies as a independent like member, so as an outside like member of the team and like having input.
Well, from personal experience, I would say it's probably best in the long run to go freelance anyway, because if you tie yourself to a failing project, then that's your name on it.
Yeah,
The worse it does, the worse you look. Whereas if you do your own thing every now and then, if you skip a beat and mess up, whatever, I mean, it was your deal. It wasn't like somebody put millions of dollars into it to have it done.
yeah. But I do want to work with the companies and like game companies and maybe do concept art for them, promotional posters. Because that is kind of interesting, like using other people's ideas and like playing with it and like seeing what I can come up with.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
I suppose, yeah.
But you're not a team player.
No, not much of a team player. I'm more of like an idea person, so like, I'd rather be on the side and like just like having an input and like coming up with cool ideas to help other people with their stuff.
I understand that intimately. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
There's no responsibility, just all my ideas.
Oh, wouldn't that be the life? So, what would you say is your most used platform as far as getting commissions go? Would you say that's Discord as well?
Yeah, Discord's definitely like my most. I get the most like communication. Like a lot more people would message me for commission. But I think I'm mostly on Instagram and like mostly talking to people and like meeting new people there because that's much more accessible to like just find a new person, like speak to them.
Kind of more open to the general audience rather than, I don't
Because
know, like I
Discord's
said, I think Discord's kind of got that stigma to it as well of like a gaming utility, so people don't take it
yeah,
as a serious platform.
yeah. I think
which
Twitch is
is
a
too
great.
bad, honestly. It's such a genuinely amazing resource. Honestly, I
Yeah,
could see uses for it in all sorts of applications, from businesses to communities around gaming.
yeah, Discord's great. It's like one of my favorite social medias to work.
Man, they really nailed it when they put that one together. It's too bad they sold themselves so hard as just specifically a gaming platform.
Yeah,
If they would have just branded as like a Skype, they'd be so much bigger right now.
yeah,
So, with Discord being one of your main utilities, how about as far as payment processing goes? Do you generally just go straight for PayPal?
yeah. I just normally with PayPal because it's not
That,
connected to anything personal, so I can just have that on the side and like work with stuff.
and it's pretty easily accessible to just about anybody. All you really need is I mean, you don't even need a card to start a PayPal, I don't believe. I think you can just make an account.
Yeah, you can just make an account and like start working with it. And it's really easy to use and like there's apps and stuff. So like everything's really good with PayPal.
Plus, they've got some decent security to it as well. If you set something as a business sale, you can tell it when the final product has been released, and that's when the final charge is due. So there's a good bit of ways to set yourself up there.
Yeah.
How often in this sphere have you ever been jerked around, if ever? Have you ever had to deal with somebody just flaking on you once you come with the finished product? Have you ever dealt with somebody trying to lowball you so hard you just lost interest? That kind of thing?
To be honest, I've had a few instances that like they'll ask me for a commission and like I'll come up with ideas and like draw like brief concepts for them, but then they'll stop replying and like they'll just ignore it. And like instead of them saying they don't want it anymore, they would just ignore like the messages. So I've had a lot of
Just
trouble with that.
ghosting?
Yeah. And I've also had
That
a lot
is
of trouble with
unfortunate and
yeah.
irresponsible, frankly.
Yeah, so like it's kind of difficult to like put effort and time into someone's work and then like they just don't apply anymore.
Yeah, that's rude. I don't like that at all. So do you charge I don't believe you did it with me, but do you generally charge a starting fee?
No, like I just like meeting people, so I like trusting them and like being friends and like we can just work together. So I don't really like charging commission fee
As you
like
grow, it may be a smart idea to do like an initial charge of like, let's say it's like $100 piece, charge them like $25 up front just to get their interest in, you know? Because once
yeah, I've been
somebody's invested
friends
money,
to,
that
like yeah.
dramatically decreases the chances that they're gonna just ghost on you.
Yeah, like I've been told by a lot of friends to charge at half up front and then do the second half afterwards. But
Yeah,
I don't
that
know,
makes
like
sense for sure. But even like, let's say maybe you think half is too much, then you can sweeten the deal by doing a quarter or something like that. It's not like
mm,
it's really a set number. You get to really choose your own destiny here.
yeah.
In as far as like you keep talking about friends and communities, are these mostly all other artists?
Yeah, mostly they are other artists. But like I think over like, the past 3 years I've met a lot of different people. And like, most of them are just friends or just normal people. And they're really supportive and like I just like I could talk to them and show my work. But it's just part of like a normal community, but I'm like the artist in the community.
In that kind of community, do you find that helps you push yourself to get better when you have a group of people who are willing to maybe even constructively criticize you?
Yeah, it really helps when like just average like normal people who aren't artists like give you an insight because they're like the most people that see my art are people who aren't artists. So it's
That's
nice to
true.
get like yeah. To be honest, I
I
don't
hadn't
really get like
considered that.
critique. Like I don't really like find much inspiration in other people critique my work. I'm mostly self motivated. So like I just know like okay, I see this piece that I've done. How am I gonna make it better? Like how can I make it better? And like I'll do it the next piece. So like I'll always be like thinking bigger.
It's a good drive you've got for sure. Keep you on top of your game.
Yeah. So like now I'm working on physical collages. So I've got this huge board and I'm like drawing on it and like doing what I normally do with the collages, but also mixing in my old previous traditional work. just like blending the styles together.
Do you do commissions for traditional as well, or do you generally just stick to digital for that?
Uh, to be honest, most of my commissions now are digital, but the traditional ones are like it's harder to work with because you need to like post it off and like make sure like it gets to them safely, or like it's quite more complicated. But you do get the occasional traditional, but I've seen a lot more success with the digital.
Seems like that would be a little bit easier to kind of put out there on more of a quantity scale as well.
Yeah, I'm a really slow worker traditional as well. Like it takes me like 2 or 3 weeks.
Me too. It takes me months to get a silly little drawing out, and I'm not even an artist, so it's just scribbles at the end.
Yeah, but digital I can do that in a day and I can make like, a really nice piece for someone.
So what kind of programs do you use generally? Do you have like a certain go-to set, or do you ever branch out and try new things?
To be honest, I just use Photoshop and like that's for most of my digital stuff because it's just like everything's there and it's really professional. And then once I finish the piece, I'll like move it onto my phone and use apps to like put like nice little effects in certain areas and like maybe make it look a little more rustic or old. And like some of the apps are really nice for like giving that little touch at the end.
Yeah, it really seems like they're stepping their game up as far as mobile apps go. I've seen a few artists who are doing it strictly with mobile apps, and they're doing fantastic work.
Yeah, I think most of my digital painting is done through my phone and my finger.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. That's great. I mean,
Yeah,
as
things
simple
like
as it
that.
is, it feels like that really just opens up your ability to work anywhere. So you can
Yeah,
just be out and about and start working on a customer's piece and still living your life. That seems like the way to go. Now, okay, I got a good one for you. You say you work mostly on Photoshop. So, how did you start with Photoshop? Did you just buckle down and shell out the cash for it, or did you sail the seas to get your first copy?
let's say I sell the seas.
Everybody does. They're so expensive.
Like with these Adobe products, especially like the editing ones. But
They're all
I think
Quality and they're well worth it, but when you're first getting into it, I don't think, that paywall just makes it difficult to be able to start learning something.
Who wants to
I think
pay an outrageous amount of money to find out that they're no good with that product?
yeah, I did have a purchased copy. Like, my dad purchased it for himself, and I used to do school projects and stuff using his copies of Photoshop. So I did like have a paid
I've heard
version.
that a lot too, that people would use like the school's copy of it. Like some
Yeah,
schools, they get a what's it called? Yeah, like a business license there for the
yeah,
product, and then they share it out amongst the students. And I've heard a few people that's how they got into it initially, was the opportunity their school gave them.
yeah. School definitely does. When they have Photoshop, you can get a lot of like worth out of that because they do most of the projects on and on laptop.
Get access to a premier utility to make some weird school project and end up turning it into a living. How great would that be? So where do you see yourself? I know you said you've only been on the commission base for about 6 months. Where do you see yourself in about 6 more months? How far do you think you can go with it in that time frame?
For the next 6 months, I think I'm just gonna be pretty still with it and like work on what I'm doing at the moment. Because every January, like every New Year's that comes around, like I have like a little switch up of everything. I don't know what it is, but everything just changes for me every New Year's. So I'm just waiting for that to come around now because I've done like quite a lot this summer, and like I've changed quite a lot like in terms of my style and like what I've been working on. So I think I'm just gonna like perfect like the fundamentals of art and like learn anatomy a bit more, and like learn line weight, just practicing. And then I think when New Year's comes around, I'll start producing like grander pieces and like big paintings and stuff.
Is there any specific professional artists or programs that you use to get your fundamentals down? Or is that something that you just do on your own and you try and get better at it as you go?
There's books out there that like are really helpful. Like I use one called by Michael Hampton. His book's like amazing for learning everything. And like I just get like friends just send me books and be like, "Oh, have you seen this art book?" And like it's just nice. Like it's just nice to learn from a book and like have someone explain it to you like that. And if
That's
I do have
crazy.
any
When I
like,
think about art books, I think about like the manga and anime drawing books that I used to see in the school libraries.
no, I never use any of those. I was talking to someone the other day about that. They're like, when should I start drawing manga and anime characters? I was like, you should first learn the fundamentals of everything and like learn how to draw realistic drawings before you start using stylistic choices.
Yeah, get your bases down, your fundamentals for all your proportions and everything before you start going a little wacky with it. That seems like a fantastic point.
Yeah, art's all about the fundamentals.
A lot of people seem to be skipping that now in the digital age because they can go into these amazing apps and programs and just start doing wild stuff with no basis, which is
Yeah,
my own personal road. I mean, I've got no traditional training at all, but I like to draw, so I just picked it up and started doing it. So it seems like a lot of people are skipping that stage of learning their fundamentals and going through the grind of, trying to learn how to draw a good circle.
yeah, I think that's like that's the common thing that's going on now. But I had that question for myself like for a long time. I was like, why isn't my work looking like the people who I admire? And then after talking to many artists, like the answer just came down to learning fundamentals and practicing them and really perfecting like line weight and anatomy and form. So once you've like you really need to
That
just keep
seems to be
always
a really common thought in pretty much anything as far as creativity goes. I mean, you hear it from artists who are doing drawings and paintings and things like that to people who are doing music. And I mean, I'm really interested in the UFC, and you even hear it with fighters. You hear people say, you can't go out there and do all this wild stuff if you don't know all your basics and have repped it out thousands of times to make it just strictly muscle memory. Is it kind of the same thing as far as drawing goes? Do you feel like at this point you've got some of your basics down to just outright muscle memory?
yeah, I would think so that like I'm quite deep into the forms and like I've spent like a long time like trying to like practice and do things, especially using the book that I'm using now. Like I have a wall on my bedroom which is like full of studies. So I've been trying to do it for quite some time.
Like an investigational wall, but for art?
Yeah, it's just like loads of different sheets of paper like pinned
Oh,
onto the
you have
wall.
got to share that. I've got to see that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'll share it with you and like,
You're
but
letting a little bit of your crazy show there.
yeah, it's like kind of exciting to do stuff like that. Just like I don't know why I do it.
Here's one. Do you display your own art around your house? Like when you complete a piece that you feel proud of, is it something that you like to go back and look at? Do you find inspiration in your own previous work?
No, I never look at my old work.
You never do?
No, I just put it in my book, my notebook or like sketchpad, and it's just on the side there. Like maybe I'll
Why?
scan through because like when you're looking at older stuff, like you're not looking towards like the future. Like if you're looking at the past, you're not looking forward. So you need to like just keep moving. Like just recognize what you're doing wrong in the piece that you've done last, and then move on with from that, and like make sure the next piece isn't doing what's wrong in that piece.
So basically, once you finish a product, you like to just look forward straight on to the next one. You don't like to dwell on the past and try and figure out how to fix it or make it better. You just want to go on and do another one and get better that
Yeah,
way.
I never go back to a piece and try to edit it or like change the lines or like get a rubber out because once you start getting caught up on like the issues in the current piece, then you're not moving forward at like a pace that's steady enough.
That makes sense. And I mean, especially if you're putting your all into it, then you've given that your all, and it's time to move on and put your all into the next one.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful philosophy to use there. Um, Man, I wasn't expecting that answer. Well played.
Yeah, but I do have like one of my biggest paintings on my wall, but I've covered that up with all my studies, like I said.
Like
Because
a traditional style one.
yeah, it's like a big ship, and it's got like wave around it. I'll send a picture to you, but like
Yeah, we've got to
the
get definitely. I want to try and get a wide array because you do so much. I'd love to get like a nice spread of the styles that you use to be able to feature in the video when we do this.
yeah, I think I've gone through about 6 or 7 different mediums throughout the year. Like I've gone from pencil to biro to brush pen to digital to painting. Like I've done quite a bit. Trying to find like what I like.
Have you considered trying things like charcoals and spray paints and stuff like that?
I used to do a lot of charcoal work when I was younger, but I think I'm just bored of it and I don't really like want to do it anymore because charcoal's really messy as well.
Yeah, it is. That's no joke.
Yeah. And with spray painting, you have to have like massive canvases and like that's another whole little art form in itself.
So no Galaxy spray paints from Lincoln in the near future, huh?
And not in the near future. I do want to create a street art area in my city. I'm going to call it Society Square. It's going to be like a place. There's a place called Dafen in China, where it's like an artist alley and like people just working live and like you can walk through it and like you can see like people working. And I really want to create something like that for the city. And like,
That
but
sounds like a wonderful project for the community.
yeah, so that's my next big project that I'm working on. And it's gonna have like street art all over the walls, and it's gonna be like people's work, and massive quotes for people to like get inspired by. It's just so
Yeah, that
other
sounds
visual.
wonderful. For sure.
Yeah,
Please update me on that project. That sounds great.
I can't wait to like get that set up, and like I just need to look for a space now. I'm just walking around like looking for areas I can set it up in.
Is that something that you'd have to talk to the city and get permits for, or do you think they'd just let you do it?
Nah, they wouldn't just let me do that. Like just move people into there. But
Yeah, you definitely have to pay for some permits, I think. I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, you're in the UK, so the laws are so wildly different in some cases. Man,
yeah.
that
So
sounds really cool, though. That's awesome that you have such a drive to create a space and get a community going.
yeah, because I've been like looking for visual artists because I don't know any visual artists in real life. Like I'm the only person I know who does like visual art. I know a lot of musicians and like I talk to them and like the musicians are everywhere because they're more sociable, but visual artists are quite like more introverted. So I want to bring everyone together into the city and like get 'em,
And you dabble in a bit of music yourself, don't you?
yeah, I've been producing for about a year and a half. I've got an album
Is that
coming out.
something as well that you have a drive to try and make money off of, or is that just something you do as a creative jam off to the side?
To be honest, I don't want to make any money off the music, but I just want to create dope albums. Like I have concepts for albums that I'm going to create in like 15 years. That's going to change everything and like it's going to like change how people view music and stuff like that. Like I have crazy like
That's
ambitions.
wonderful. That's great, man. I love it. Keep that burning. Whatever you gotta do, keep that going. Because it's working
Yeah.
for you so far, clearly.
The album I'm working on now, it's sounding amazing at the moment, but it's going to take a while for me to put together. Still got a few songs I need to produce and get all the verses and hooks and features.
So you do vocals as well as produce the track?
Uh, like I'm practicing my vocals at the moment, so like I haven't actually recorded any because I'm not like confident in my own voice just yet. I'm like more, I'm able to sing and rap and do things like that. Then yeah, like I'll start recording my vocals.
Do you have any artists that you would say you kind of lean towards the style of?
I think it's mostly just Kanye. Like Kanye is my main inspiration as a creative.
He seems to be that for a lot of people. That dude is wild.
Kanye's amazing. He's like my favorite person ever.
He's definitely an inspiration. How to handle crazy properly. That man has made a business off of it.
Yeah, but he's like he represents everything to me that an artist should be like. That instability, drive to create something for the world, to have pushing the culture.
Well, it also helps that, he was successful enough with his first endeavor that he could go out there and risk a little bit on his others. And not everything has
Yeah,
succeeded, obviously. I mean, his clothing line seemed to turn into a giant meme immediately and just stay there.
Yeah.
But with how successful he's been in his music, nobody really cares. Nobody thinks about that. So when he takes on a new venture, everybody's like, "Oh, cool, he's doing something else. Let's go check that out."
Yeah, so like, he's doing like really well. But that's the position I'm trying to be at when I'm his age. So I've still
So
got
how do you
6 years.
think you'll get there? Like, what do you think will be the thing that pushes you there? Would it be your visual art, or do you think it'll be the music that does it?
I think it'll be the music and if I can make the film or the anime, then it'll be either the anime or the music.
Being an artist, do you think it would be difficult for you to get into a sphere where you were working with people towards a goal such as an anime? Because that's in depth. That would be something that you'd have to have almost a team of people working with you if you were going to try and get something out on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna like find a team. My the way I'm gonna get the anime sorted is first gonna produce the comic book of it, or the manga, and then pitch that to anime studios and work with them on their already built up studios, and like hopefully the story will be good enough for them to pick it up and make it into
Is,
a short
is that
anime.
something where like that's a broad goal? So that involves everything from the artistic creation, doing the backgrounds, doing the character development, doing
Yeah,
the writing, all that stuff. Is that all things that you're trying to take on yourself and just have it solely be your project?
yeah, I think most of it is stuff that I'm gonna be sorting out. So I'm gonna be like, I'll design all the characters, do the writing, do the plot, decide how things are made. But then I think the anime is very vague to me. Like I haven't fully formed it in my head yet, but I know it's gonna be definitely made.
Whatever you do, man, I'm excited to see it. So please do share, but just don't go full 3D, man. The
Yeah,
CG in
I'm
the
not gonna.
animes nowadays is over the top and ridiculous, and it just ruins it.
Yeah, I really like the 90s anime style and like the hand drawn style. So if I can
I
capture
love
that,
that. I appreciate it so much every time I
yeah,
see it. I love hand drawn stuff because you just know the guys like they spent thousands of hours in the
yeah,
studio drawing these characters and images thousands of times to create maybe an hour and a half of content. I love
yeah,
the dedication there.
yeah. I can't wait for that. It's so nice, like see a well drawn anime with good animation
Yeah, it
style.
is. It's fantastic, especially when you see all the nonsense and fan service stuff that's coming out recently.
Yeah, it really is that Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop type of style that I'm looking for with my anime.
That's wonderful. I love that somebody's trying to bring that back.
Yeah,
Well, I think we've been going for nearly an hour at this point. You want to wrap it up?
yeah. Let's wrap it off. It's been a great conversation. I think we
Absolutely,
covered.
man. I really appreciate your time. It's been wonderful talking to you.
It's fine, man. This is great. Like I had a really good time discussing myself.
Get you a little narcissistic tint in there. So, how would you say you want people to reach out to you? What platform do you most want people to use to recognize your art and get a hold of you as far as commission goes? Let's shout that out right here at the end.
Definitely go to my Instagram at Lincoln_Socias.
And that'll
Like
be down in the description box when I drop this video.
but that would be like the place where I'm most communicating with people, and like if they just DM me and like I can like talk to you, and like I just love meeting people. So just even if you just want to speak, like I'm down to speak and just, like have a conversation.
Wonderful. All right. Well, that'll be down there. Like I said, I'll also probably put in your email or any other information that you give me that you want. Um, like I said, fantastic talking to you. Appreciate the hell out of the time and you volunteering to do this. It's wonderful, and I can't wait for people to see the work that you've done for the GbG project. And I hope that they really enjoy it because I do. I certainly do. It's great, man. I told you to just go artistic with it, and you went full artist, and
I mean, they like make even
I love
pieces
it.
soon. Like the pieces that I'm conceptualizing for the podcast, like, it's gonna get even better and better like every time.
I love that you're excited about it too, because that means I must be doing something right if I've got somebody else's interest in it. And you
Yeah,
actually have to put the work into it. All I have to do is talk to people and do a little bit of editing. editing. You're the one who's actually sitting there for hours and doing the drawing. So if I got you stoked, then I got to be doing something right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end. I appreciate the time, like I said, and man, let's see how it does. Hopefully, this takes off.
All right. Thank you.
Model X.
All right, awesome. So what's up, Lincoln?